G'day, omdevaji, Sheshnak Yoga Center. What on earth is Kundalini? This video is about some of the insights that I've gained from listening to some beautiful men lately. Russell Brand did an interview with Karamo Brown, who's this beautiful gay guy off of the Queer Eye series. And it goes for an hour or whatever, and he's very beautiful, this man. Both of them are really amazing to me because I get a lot of validation off Russell Brand because his passion's Kundalini. And he listens well and asks very concise questions. Karamo, I don't even know if that's how you say it. He's been a psychotherapist for a long time before he went on the show. And his role on the show is, I loved it because his role on the show is to change the sub-psyche or the subconscious patterns that are replaying themselves in these people's lives to create a life of pain or stress or dis-ease. So his job is to actually, in 4 days, like he said, everyone's got a brick wall in front of them to do with blocking them from the life they want. He allows them the tools to maybe knock out a brick or two, and then allows them to know that they have both the tools and support to be able to knock the wall down if they want to continue to do the work, but that's ultimately up to them. There was a lot of emphasis from Karamo, I'm going to say Karamo. There was a lot of emphasis from him to do with making love-based decisions instead of fear-based decisions. I'm personally not that good at it. Like, I'm not a person that's really good at receiver-based information. Like if I, or an interaction that's based on how the perceiver or receiver will experience and feel our interaction, I'm not that conscious. But there was an emphasis on that to do with love-based experience rather than fear-based, and how fear-based decisions are based on subconscious patterns and being separate from people and feeling isolated and not feeling like you got support, and then the love-based decisions are more to do with the unified reality of accepting my own being and knowing where that is and trying to make a decision. Like, I'm not real good with decisions. I'm not real wise with a few things. And he also talked about what I just said, because I just talked myself down saying I'm not this and I'm not that. Whereas in actual fact, I'm pretty good with a lot of things. And it's in our culture, it's weird because we say, oh, we're not bad. How are we not bad? We're not this, we're not that. So there's a lot of telling ourselves what we aren't. And he pulls Russell up and he goes, mate, I heard you just compare yourself, and I heard you talk about negative and positive. And they're not negative and positive, they're more just opportunities for growth. So I've made some beautiful decisions in my life, and I've made some ones that haven't been really fruitful. Doesn't mean I always make bad decisions, and it doesn't mean that I always make good decisions. It means that I've made both, and that's the beauty of being human. So in that, the love-based decisions versus the fear-based decisions, the other experience that he talked about was growing up versus waking up. And let's say I've spent a lot of time waking up. And then waking up means, to me, the way I perceived it, not necessarily how everyone does, but waking up means to me moving outwards from my individual encapsulated organic interpretation of myself into a more subtle aspect or subtle appreciation of the finer aspects of, or the finer appreciation of the subtle aspects of myself, when I go into my mind and my energy and my emotions and my feelings, and then the spiritual reality of life and how consciousness itself the consciousness of the universe is flowing through me to express itself in its own unique way according to how this energetic parcel is programmed and vibrates. So waking up is going from the small self, the animalistic body, which feeds on whatever, puts its mind into action to create pleasure through its body and an identity that gives it some sort of self-belonging, into a more, the body is the vehicle that encapsulates the cosmos and lets it express itself through it. So that's waking up. The part that I struggle with, and I freely admit this, I actually want to break down and cry when I say it, is growing up. And this is a common thread throughout our community at the moment, throughout our culture. There are a lot of boys in men's bodies. Like I spoke to someone today who's retired, must be over 70, or at least over 65. And the old program of the baby boomers is very sexually objectifying. It's very economically driven. It's very industrially focused, productive, consumptive, competitive, very unemotional. And I would say stoic, but I learned yesterday that stoic comes from the word stoicism, which is a really beautiful philosophy from 3 centuries BC, where some guy came out with a beautiful interpretation of there's a Sanskrit word, a yogic philosophy. I'm happy that I added a bit of yogic philosophy into this video. But there's a big focus on Stoicism to do with vairagya, which is a Sanskrit word for non-attachment. So the Stoicism, or the word Stoic of today, comes from Stoicism, the philosophy developed by this Greek god called Hepatitis or Syphilis or something. I don't know what he was called, but in the 3rd century BC, Stoicism was to do with non-attachment and steadiness, what this culture is actually moving into, where you can be still and solid and attached to the experiences around you. So that's where the word stoic is. The old paradigm's more stoic. We're moving into a new paradigm where there's a lot more of what Krishnamurti said is the best thing you can do, and that's the highest form of intelligence, and that's observation without assessment or without analysis or breakdown of it, just simply watching. So we're moving from the old paradigm into the new. So the growing up part, for me, being halfway between the baby boomers and the indigos, I'm sitting there going, oh mate, this is hard. I've had a lifetime of this program, and now I've got to all of a sudden be in my heart and feel compassionate and feel, just feel. And I'm thinking, what? So the growing up part, for me to be mature after a lifetime of being selfish and immature, it's very confronting. But Karamo Brown, in his conversation with Russell Brand, they do it beautifully, mate, and they're bouncing off each other and really authentic and just beautifully human in the whole experience. So I just wanted to share that. I found the experience of being exposed to those sort of energies really beneficial and beautiful, also encouraging on my path of growing up. So thanks for your time, Karamo and Russell, and doing what you can to increase the vibration on the planet into a more heartfelt new paradigm of unified reality where we can actually respect each other and be in that intimacy of just connecting. So that's all I've got to say on that one. Thank you for your time. Thanks for watching. Subscribe if you want to. Donate to Sheshnag Mandir, the temple dedicated to Sanskrit, if you want to. If not, that's all cool. Just watch the videos for free and download the books for free. We're all good. Share the world, sheshnag.com. What on earth is Kundalini? Peace.